Eagles get blown out 41-21 in Dallas. This is our fourth straight loss at AT&T Stadium. Our misery there continues. Where do I even begin? Where do I even begin with this game? There was just so much, just so much. I literally don't even know where to start. Last week, I blamed Nick Sirianni and his play calling mainly for that loss to the 49ers. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not the case this week. There is a ton of blame to go around this week, all across the board. We can start with Jalen Hurts. I think that Jalen Hurts played a pretty bad game. He was not good last night, guys. He was not good. Missing throws left and right. On our opening possession, he threw an interception when he was looking for Jalen Reagor. Felt like he was off. And then the worst part is our first possession of the second half. We're driving. The drive's looking good. We had a big play to Sanders to start it off. It was looking really good. And then there's one play where Hurts misses a wide open Goddard on the right sideline of the field. That would have went for a 20, 30-yard gain. He missed them. And I think the very next play, pick six. Trayvon Diggs takes it all the way to the house. That can't happen. Hurts was pretty bad last night. He was pretty bad. Again, against Dallas. Last year, he played really bad against Dallas in the second half. I thought he was good in the first half of that game, but this game, he was just horrible the whole time. Hurts wasn't good today, plain and simple. And then you got the penalties. The penalties. How many penalties do we have in this game? How many? Did we have 13? 13 penalties. Stuff like Derek Barnett, this guy yet again. You can always count on Derek Barnett to have a stupid penalty every game. Derek Barnett jumps off sides on a third down. And then all the holding calls. The holding. My God, this team has a fetish for holding. Oh, hold me, daddy. Hold me, daddy. No, let me pause after that. Pause. Okay, but anyway, the holding penalties, the offside penalties, it's we are so undisciplined. I get it because it's a young team, but oh my God. In the week 1 game against the Falcons, we had 14 penalties in that game. So it's not just this game against Dallas. This team is very undisciplined. Oh my God, the penalties. The penalties. It got literally so bad to the point where as soon as I saw a yellow flag, I'm like, it's on the Eagles. I know it's going to be on the Eagles. Literally before the play, I was predicting us to have a penalty because that's how bad it was getting. As soon as a yellow flag came out, I'm like, it's on Philly. It's on Philly. It was just awful, man. And then Nick Sirianni, man. I criticized you last week for that 4th down call where you went for the Philly special. This game, I don't know what your game plan was. Man. It was this game. So last week I thought that we ran the ball a little too much, as if you were suffering from Rich Kotite syndrome. And then this game last night, it's we didn't try to run at all. And there was I looked at the stats after the game. Our running backs only had 3 carries. 3 carries. 3 carries. And the thing that really gets me mad is that knowing how this running game was anemic last night, knowing how the running game was basically non-existent, Nick Sirianni, he was calling these play action stuff, all this play action, and I'm thinking, if you can't run the ball, if you can't do play action if you can't run the ball. Nobody's gonna bite on your play action if they know that you can't run the ball. It's 3 carries. How do you only go for 3 carries? Last week you go from running the ball too much to this week you don't try to run it at all. There was no running. There just pass. It was almost like a Doug Peterson game. It was literally like a Doug Peterson game. And then it gets to the point where we're down 27-7. At that point, you can't even run the ball anymore because you're down 20 points. So you literally got to pass. He dug us in the hole. He would not run the ball. It is just, I don't get what his game plan was. I really don't understand. And the defense, man. I predicted that this would be an offensive shootout. I was kind of right about Dallas. I wasn't right about us at all. The defense went from looking pretty good against the Falcons and the Niners to looking absolutely garbage today. We were getting killed by the run. Zeke and Pollard were feasting. Blake Jarwin had a pretty big game on us too. It's like the Cowboys were doing whatever they wanted to. They were doing whatever they wanted to, and we just couldn't stop them. We were just sitting there just taking it like, ooh, take it. You like that, Philly? You like that, Philly? We're literally just taking it. Just taking it. Case in point, in the fourth quarter, the Cowboys are already up 34-14. This game is basically over, like 7 minutes left. They had so little respect for us that they're like, you know what, we're going to go for another touchdown just because we can do whatever we want to you. And we know that you're going to take it. So they go for another touchdown. I think it's Dalton Schultz touchdown. 41-14, fourth quarter. They were just doing whatever they wanted to, and the Eagles couldn't say anything about it. That's the kind of stuff that Buddy Ryan absolutely couldn't stand. They were just beating us. They literally dominated us in all shape and form. The Eagles, we were just horrible across the board last night. Horrible across the board. Yeah, Devontae Smith, he had a big drop on third down, I think. It was in good coverage, but I still thought that he has to come down with that catch. I felt like he kind of ruined it by the fact that he jumped. Like, I didn't think he needed to jump on that play. Then he dropped it. This was not a fun game to watch, man. To lose like this in prime time to the Cowboys, it's sickening. It's really sickening, man. It's absolutely just revolting to get destroyed by the Cowboys in prime time for everybody to see. Like, it was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. We've had some pretty bad losses these last few years. I'm not going to lie. We got beat 37-10 by the Cowboys in Dallas like 2 years ago. But this game was even worse than that 2018 Saints game, that blowout in New Orleans where we got smacked 48-7. This game was worse than that. Now, that game had a worse margin of defeat, but this one is worse just because it's the Cowboys. You never want to lose like this to the Cowboys, ever. And it's horrible. It was just awful. I'm very embarrassed, but I'm not going to hide. I'm going to keep doing these videos, win or lose. And we're in big trouble, guys. We're in big trouble. We're 1-2. This is where that 49ers game last week really hurts because we should be 2-1. We should have won that game last week. We didn't. We've lost 2 straight games after thumping the Falcons in the opener. And now next week, next week, we got an angry Chiefs team. We got to deal with this angry Chiefs team that just lost 2 straight games. They lost to the Ravens in Baltimore, and they just lost to the Chargers in Kansas City. We got to deal with that Chiefs team coming to Philadelphia next week. Andy Reid is going to be looking for his 100th career win. Isn't that funny how Andy Reid has the opportunity to become the first coach to win 100 games with 2 teams, and the team he's in position to do it against is the Eagles, his former team from 99 to 2012. Isn't that crazy? This is big trouble. Big trouble. After the Chiefs, we have to play the unbeaten Panthers. After that, we have the defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. This team's got to grow up fast because this schedule ahead, it's ravenous. This schedule ahead, it's pretty tough. But it all starts with the Chiefs next week. I don't know how, but you got to win next week. You got to win next week. I don't know how they're going to do that, but you got to win. We can't go to 1-3. If you go to 1-3, that's a potential death blow to your season. You can recover from 1-2. 1-3